Indonesia, a vast archipelago where fire and ocean collide. Jungles conceal traces of civilizations lost to time. Temples rise from stone and ash, carved with devotion that still endures. What begins in isolation becomes a network of trade, ritual, and belief. And what seems impossible becomes reality. Today, we set off across Indonesia's most unreal landscapes. We'll journey into the forgotten and reveal wonders the world has yet to see. High in the mountains of Flores lies Wae Rebo, a remote village accessible only by a long trek through forest and mist. Here, 7 tall conical houses, called Umbaru Nyong, rise from a grassy clearing, their thatched roofs sweeping down almost to the ground. Each house shelters several families, preserving a way of life passed through generations. The Manggarai people who live here maintain traditions of weaving, farming, and ritual, their days shaped by the rhythm of the highlands. Coffee and spices grow on surrounding slopes, while ceremonies honor ancestors whose spirits are believed to protect the village. Visitors are welcomed as guests, often with offerings of coffee and shared meals, but life in Wae Rebo remains largely untouched by the outside world. In the Lesser Sunda Islands lies Komodo, a rugged land of savanna hills, rocky bays, and one of the world's most unique creatures. The island is the heart of Komodo National Park, home to the Komodo dragon, the largest living lizard on Earth. These predators can grow up to 3 meters long, moving with slow power across beaches and grasslands, reminders of a prehistoric world that has survived into the present. The landscape is dry and dramatic. Hills of scrub and lontar palms roll into valleys, their slopes glowing gold under the sun. Along the coast, turquoise waters meet pink sand beaches, colored by fragments of red coral mixed with white sand. Coral reefs just offshore shelter manta rays, turtles, and hundreds of fish species. Villages dot the shoreline, their wooden houses built on stilts above the tide. For centuries, people here have lived alongside the dragons, fishing the seas and herding goats in the dry hills. Just off Bali's southeast coast lies Nusa Lembongan, a small island known for its calm pace and clear waters. Its shoreline is lined with white sand beaches, mangroves, and cliffs that drop into turquoise seas. Wooden boats anchor in quiet bays, while surfers ride waves that break along the reefs offshore. The island is small enough to cross by scooter, with narrow roads winding past villages, seaweed farms, and lookout points over the ocean. Seaweed cultivation has long been part of daily life here, its fields stretching across the shallows at low tide. Around the coast, snorkeling and diving reveal coral gardens where manta rays and reef fish move through the currents. The suspension bridge linking Lembongan to Nusa Canyon sways gently above the channel, connecting two small worlds surrounded by sea. On the slopes of central Bali stretch the Jatiluwih rice terraces, a vast expanse of green carved into the mountainsides. The terraces step down in endless curves, following the contours of the land for more than 600 hectares. Irrigated by the island's ancient subak system, a cooperative network of canals and water temples, the fields reflect a tradition that has endured for over 1,000 years. The landscape changes with the season. In planting time, the terraces shimmer like mirrors under the sun. Weeks later, they glow bright green, and at harvest, they turn golden before returning to stubble. Paths wind through the fields, passing shrines where offerings are made to Dewi Sri, the rice goddess. In the highlands south of Bandung lies Kawah Putih, a volcanic crater lake known for its surreal colors. Formed by an eruption centuries ago, the lake sits within the crater of Mount Patuha, its waters shifting between turquoise, green, and milky white, depending on light and mineral content. The air carries the sharp scent of sulfur, and steam rises in drifting clouds from the surface. The surrounding cliffs are pale and barren, their slopes dusted in volcanic ash, while patches of forest cling to the rim. Birds and plants adapt to the acidic environment, giving the crater an otherworldly atmosphere. Wooden walkways lead visitors down to the shore, where the lake seems luminous against the gray rock. On the plains of central Java stands Prambanan, the largest Hindu temple complex in Indonesia. Built in the 9th century, its spires rise more than 45 meters into the sky, a cluster of stone towers that resemble a jagged mountain range carved by hand. Dedicated to the Trimurti, Brahma the creator, Vishnu the preserver, and Shiva the destroyer, the complex was designed as both temple and cosmic symbol. The central tower of Shiva dominates the compound, flanked by temples to Brahma and Vishnu, each adorned with reliefs from the Ramayana and other epics. Carvings of gods, demons, and celestial beings cover the walls in extraordinary detail, while guardian statues stand watch at the gateways. Once part of a city of temples, Prambanan was abandoned after earthquakes and volcanic eruptions, its ruins swallowed by jungle for centuries. Restorations have raised much of it again, though many shrines remain in scattered fragments across the plain. East of Flores lies Sumba, an island of wide savannas, rugged coastlines, and traditions that remain deeply tied to ancestral belief. Unlike Bali's tropical forests or Java's volcanic slopes, Sumba feels drier and more open, its hills rolling into grasslands dotted with villages and megalithic tombs. The island is known for its ikat weaving, textiles dyed and woven by hand with patterns that carry spiritual meaning. Each cloth reflects identity and status, its motifs passed down through generations. Traditional villages are marked by tall thatched houses with peaked roofs, rising sharply above stone altars and tombs that stand in the center of the settlements. Sumba's rituals are equally distinctive. The Pasola Festival, a ceremonial horseback battle, takes place each year, blending warfare, sport, and sacrifice in honor of the spirits and the agricultural cycle. Along the coasts, waves break against long, empty beaches, while cliffs and lagoons mark the horizon in stark contrasts of blue and stone. In East Java, the land opens into the Tengger caldera, a vast plain of ash known as the Sea of Sand. From its barren floor rises Mount Bromo, a smoking cone that has become one of Indonesia's most dramatic sights. At dawn, crowds gather on the surrounding ridges to watch the sun rise over the caldera, when the first light turns the crater and surrounding peaks into a landscape of fire and shadow. The volcano, 2,329 meters high, is still active, its crater rim constantly steaming with sulfurous clouds. A staircase leads up the slope, climbing through shifting sand to the edge of the crater, where the ground trembles with the breath of the earth. In the uplands of Bali lies Ubud, a town long regarded as the island's cultural center. Surrounded by rice terraces and jungle ravines, it blends tradition with creativity in a landscape where temples, markets, and workshops stand side by side. Stone shrines sit beneath banyan trees, and offerings of flowers and incense line the streets each morning. Ubud is a center for Balinese art and performance. Painters, carvers, and dancers carry traditions passed through generations, while modern studios and galleries thrive alongside them. Nightly performances of gamelan, legong, and shadow puppet plays fill temple courtyards with music and movement. The surrounding landscape is as much a part of Ubud's character as its culture. Paths wind through emerald rice terraces, rivers cut deep valleys, and jungle slopes hold shrines and yoga retreats. Monkeys move among the trees of the sacred forest, where moss-covered statues guard shaded temples. On the northern coast of Bali lies Lovina, a stretch of quiet beaches and calm waters far from the island's crowded south. The shoreline is lined with black volcanic sand, its dark tones a reminder of the island's fiery origins. Offshore, the sea remains gentle, protected by reefs that keep the waves low and steady. Lovina is best known for its dolphins. At dawn, wooden outrigger boats head into the bay, their silhouettes moving against the rising sun as pods of dolphins surface and play in the water. Snorkeling and diving reveal coral gardens just beyond the reef, where tropical fish drift among sea fans and sponges. Behind the coast, villages and rice fields spread into the hills, with hot springs and waterfalls hidden in the valleys. On the slopes of Mount Agung, Bali's highest and most sacred volcano, stands Besakih Temple, the island's largest and holiest temple complex. Known as the Mother Temple, it consists of more than 80 shrines and structures spread across terraces that climb the mountain's southern flank. Stone stairways rise through gateways toward courtyards filled with pavilions, altars, and towering Meru shrines with layered roofs. Besakih has been a center of worship for over 1,000 years, serving as the spiritual heart of Balinese Hinduism. Each of Bali's regencies maintains its own shrine within the complex, uniting communities in ritual and ceremony. Festivals draw thousands of devotees dressed in white, carrying offerings of fruit, rice, and flowers up the mountain steps. Across Lombok, Sasak traditional villages preserve a way of life rooted in centuries of custom. Houses are built with bamboo frames, thatched roofs, and walls of woven reeds or clay, arranged in clusters along narrow paths. Floors are often plastered with a mix of clay and cow dung, believed to keep them strong and clean. Daily rhythms revolve around farming, weaving, and ritual. Women produce hand-woven textiles on backstrap looms, their patterns carrying meanings tied to marriage and identity. Men tend rice fields, coconut groves, and livestock that sustain village life. Some villages, like Sade and Ende, near Kuta, open their doors to visitors, sharing dances, crafts, and ceremonies that remain central to Sasak identity. Others remain quieter, preserving traditions largely unchanged. On the southern coast of Kalimantan lies Tanjung Puting National Park, a vast landscape of swamp, mangrove, and tropical rainforest. Spanning more than 4,000 square kilometers, it shelters one of the last great populations of wild orangutans, along with proboscis monkeys, gibbons, sun bears, and countless bird species. The park is best known for Camp Liki, a research and rehabilitation center established in the 1970s. Here, orangutans rescued from captivity are reintroduced to the forest, while wild ones swing freely through the canopy. Visitors often travel the park's rivers on wooden houseboats called klotok, gliding past dense jungle where wildlife gathers at the water's edge. The waterways themselves are lifelines, dark, slow-moving rivers reflecting the green walls of the forest. Off the northwest tip of Papua lie the Raja Ampat Islands, a seascape of limestone islets, turquoise lagoons, and coral reefs that rank among the most biodiverse on Earth. Over 1,500 islands scatter across the waters here, their cliffs draped in jungle and their bays glowing in shades of blue and green. From above, the archipelago looks like a labyrinth of karst pinnacles rising from the sea. Beneath the surface lies an extraordinary world. Raja Ampat's reefs shelter more than 500 species of coral and thousands of species of fish, along with manta rays, sharks, and sea turtles. Walls, caves, and shallow gardens of coral stretch for kilometers, making it a global center of marine diversity. Life here moves with the tide. Villages line the shores in stilted houses, their canoes drifting across lagoons where fishing has sustained families for generations. On the northern rim of Lake Toba, water plunges from a high plateau in a single narrow stream. This is Sipiso-Piso, one of Indonesia's tallest waterfalls. From the cliffs above, the flow drops nearly 120 meters, cutting through the rock before vanishing into the lake's deep basin. The name Sipiso-Piso comes from the Batak word for knife, a reference to the sharp, blade-like plunge of the water. Mist rises constantly from the base, drifting upward to cover the surrounding cliffs in a cool spray. Trails descend from the viewpoint along the rim, winding steeply down toward the echoing roar below. From above, the waterfall appears like a silver thread against the dark green walls of the caldera. In central Java rises Borobudur, the largest Buddhist monument in the world. Built in the 8th and 9th centuries, it takes the form of a massive stone mandala carved into a hillside. The monument climbs 9 platforms, 6 square and 3 circular, crowned by a great stupa at the summit. From base to peak, over 500 Buddha statues gaze outward, many enclosed in latticed stupas that open to the surrounding landscape. The walls are covered with more than 2,500 relief panels, telling stories from Buddhist scriptures alongside scenes of daily life in ancient Java. Walking upward is a symbolic pilgrimage. The lower levels represent the world of desire, the middle levels the realm of forms, and the upper terraces the formless state that leads toward enlightenment. Borobudur was abandoned for centuries, swallowed by jungle and volcanic ash, before its rediscovery in the 19th century. High in the mountains of central Java lies the Dieng Plateau, a volcanic caldera more than 2,000 meters above sea level. Its name means abode of the gods, and the landscape lives up to it. Steaming vents rise from the earth, sulfur lakes shimmer in green and yellow, and fields of potatoes stretch across fertile slopes. The air is cool and often wrapped in mist, giving the plateau an atmosphere both strange and serene. Scattered across the plain are some of Java's oldest Hindu temples, small stone shrines built in the 7th and 8th centuries. Dedicated to Shiva, they are simple in design, yet carry immense historical weight, remnants of one of the earliest Hindu kingdoms in the region. The plateau is also known for its geothermal activity. Craters bubble with boiling mud, geysers hiss, and the Talaga Warna, or colored lake, changes hue with shifting minerals and sunlight. In the shadow of Mount Merapi lies Yogyakarta, a city long regarded as the cultural soul of Java. Known locally as Jogja, it blends ancient tradition with the rhythm of a modern city. At its center stands the Kraton, the royal palace of the sultans, a walled compound of courtyards, pavilions, and ceremonial halls, where Javanese heritage is preserved in daily life. The city pulses with art and performance. Batik workshops, shadow puppet theaters, and gamelan orchestras carry traditions that have endured for centuries. Street murals and modern galleries add to the mix, making Yogyakarta a place where the old and the new exist side by side. Beyond its streets lie sacred landscapes. To the north rises Merapi, an active volcano whose eruptions have both threatened and shaped the region. To the south stretches Parangtritis Beach, tied to myths of the sea queen Ratu Kidul. North of Java's coast lie the Karimunjawa Islands, a remote archipelago of white sand beaches, coral reefs, and quiet fishing villages. Spread across the Java Sea, the islands number more than 24, most fringed by turquoise shallows and mangrove forests. The waters are clear and rich with life. Coral gardens stretch just offshore, sheltering reef fish, sea turtles, and rays. Wooden boats carry divers and fishermen alike, moving between small harbors and scattered islets. Inland, the larger islands hold low hills, coconut groves, and villages where life follows the rhythm of the tides. In the highlands of East Java lies Malang, a city framed by volcanic ridges and fertile valleys. Its cool climate, colonial avenues, and surrounding farms have long made it a retreat from the lowlands. Tree-lined boulevards, old Dutch houses, and modern campuses give the city a distinctive character, blending history with the youthful energy from its large student population. Malang is a center of Javanese culture. Traditional dance and gamelan performances remain part of its identity, while nearby villages preserve batik and craft traditions unique to the region. Markets bustle with fruit, vegetables, and coffee grown on the fertile volcanic slopes that surround the city. The highlands beyond the streets reveal dramatic landscapes. Plantations spread across the hills, while waterfalls plunge into forested valleys. In the central highlands of Bali lies Tirta Empul, a water temple founded more than 1,000 years ago during the reign of the Warmadewa dynasty. Its courtyards and shrines are built around a spring that feeds pools of clear water, believed to hold purifying power. The temple is known for its bathing ritual. In long stone pools, rows of fountains pour cool spring water, where worshippers step forward one by one to cleanse themselves in a sequence of offerings and prayers. The air carries the scent of incense, mixed with the sound of flowing water and the murmur of devotion. In a river valley near Tampak Siring lies Gunung Kawi, an ancient temple complex cut directly into sheer cliffs. 10 monumental shrines, each over 7 meters high, are carved from the rock face, their forms resembling towers but hollowed from living stone. Believed to date from the 11th century, they are thought to honor Balinese kings and their families, though their exact purpose remains uncertain. The approach descends through rice terraces and stone steps shaded by trees. At the valley floor, the Pakarasan River flows past shrines, courtyards, and pavilions, where offerings are still made. Moss and vines cover the cliffs, blending the monuments into the jungle. In the heart of Komodo National Park lies Padar Island, a rugged landscape of sharp ridges and crescent-shaped bays. From the summit ridge, the view stretches across 3 curved beaches, each with different sand, white, black, and pink, set against turquoise seas. The hills are barren and dry, their slopes covered in scrub and savanna grass that glow gold in the sun. The hike to the viewpoint is short but steep, climbing stone steps and dusty trails to the crest. From above, the island appears carved by wind and tide, its bays cutting deep into the land. Few settlements exist here. The island feels wild and untouched, shaped only by nature. At dawn on the Martapura River in South Kalimantan, wooden boats gather for the Lok Baintan floating market. For centuries, this has been a place where villagers trade directly from the water, their canoes heavy with fruit, vegetables, rice, and spices. Women in traditional conical hats paddle slowly between boats, their voices carrying across the river as goods are exchanged. Unlike modern markets, much of the trade here is still done by barter, a reflection of older traditions that continue despite time. Bananas, chilies, and handmade cakes pass from boat to boat, while money is used only sparingly. The river itself becomes a shifting marketplace, paddles striking the water, colors of produce stacked in neat piles, and the smell of herbs and food drifting on the morning mist. By mid-morning, the boats disperse, leaving the river quiet again until the next day's trade. At the heart of the Maluku Islands lies Halmahera, a land of mountains, forests, and seas that has long been shaped by both nature and history. The island is the largest in Maluku, its coast indented with bays and peninsulas, its interior covered in rainforest where parrots, hornbills, and rare cuscus still roam. Volcanoes rise above the ridges, their slopes feeding rivers that wind into the sea. Halmahera's shores are lined with coral reefs and mangroves. Offshore, small islands dot the horizon, surrounded by waters rich with marine life. Divers explore walls, caves, and currents that rival those of Raja Ampat, yet far fewer visitors reach these reefs. The island also carries a long history as part of the Spice Islands. Cloves and nutmeg once drew traders from across the world, leaving a legacy of forts, villages, and blended cultures that remain visible today. On the northern edge of Sumatra stretches Gunung Leuser National Park, a vast expanse of rainforest, rivers, and mountains that form one of the richest ecosystems in the world. Covering nearly 8,000 square kilometers, it rises from lowland swamps to peaks over 3,000 meters high, a landscape where dense jungle hides valleys and ridges in endless green. The park is one of the last strongholds of critically endangered species. Orangutans move through the canopy, their nests hanging high above the forest floor. Sumatran elephants follow narrow trails, while rhinos and tigers remain hidden in the deeper jungle. Rivers cut through the forest in fast currents, feeding waterfalls and carrying life across the valleys. The terrain is remote and difficult, but that isolation has preserved both wildlife and forest. Villages lie at the edges, where conservation and survival intertwine. In central Flores rises Kalimutu, a volcano whose summit holds 3 lakes unlike any others on Earth. Each occupies a separate crater, and each shifts color, from turquoise to green, red, or even black, as minerals and gases react with the water. Side by side, the lakes glow in different hues, a vision that feels almost unreal against the volcanic ridges surrounding them. The lakes are tied to myth as much as geology. Local tradition holds that each is a resting place for souls, the young, the old, and those who lived with anger or violence. Ceremonies are still held on the slopes, blending spiritual belief with the mountain's dramatic presence. Reaching the summit requires an early climb, often before dawn. As the sun rises, the craters brighten, revealing their shifting colors under changing light. Mist drifts through the valleys below, while the peaks of Flores stretch to the horizon. On the southern coast of West Papua lies Triton Bay, a remote seascape of limestone cliffs, turquoise water, and hidden coves. Often called the last paradise, it feels untouched, its bays and islets cloaked in jungle and mist. The sea glows in shifting shades of blue, broken only by the silhouettes of karst towers rising from the water. Beneath the surface, Triton Bay is alive with life. Coral reefs stretch across the shallows, home to soft corals, reef fish, and whale sharks that gather seasonally to feed on plankton near fishing platforms. Manta rays glide through the channels, while dolphins and dugongs surface in the quiet lagoons. Ringed by volcanic ridges and tea-covered hills, Bandung sits in a mountain basin more than 700 meters above sea level. The city's cooler climate has long made it a retreat from the lowlands, earning it the name the Paris of Java during colonial times. Today, it blends Dutch-era architecture, modern sprawl, and a backdrop of active volcanoes that continue to shape the landscape. The city is known for its creative energy. Fashion outlets, art studios, and street murals give Bandung a youthful character, fueled by its large student population. Cafes spill out onto busy streets, while traditional markets remain crowded with food stalls, batik, and local crafts. Beyond the city center, the highlands open into tea plantations and volcanic plateaus. On a limestone plateau in southern Bali rises Garuda Wisnu Kencana, one of the tallest statues in the world. Standing over 120 meters high, it depicts the Hindu god Vishnu riding the great mythical bird Garuda. The figure towers above the surrounding cliffs, visible from miles away, its bronze-green surface gleaming in the tropical sun. The statue was completed in 2018, after decades of planning and construction, symbolizing devotion, protection, and cultural pride. At its base spreads a cultural park where plazas, amphitheaters, and exhibition halls host performances of Balinese dance, music, and ceremony. Traditional art and contemporary design blend here, making the site both monument and living stage. Around the park, cliffs and gardens form a vast open-air space. Pathways lead to viewpoints where the island spreads out below, the Bukit Peninsula, the Indian Ocean, and on clear days, Mount Agung on the horizon. Hidden in the highlands of northern Bali, Sekumpul Waterfall descends through a wall of jungle in a series of powerful streams. From the cliffs above, multiple cascades drop more than 80 meters into a mist-filled basin, their roar echoing through the valley. The falls are often shrouded in spray and sunlight, creating shifting rainbows in the humid air. Reaching Sekumpul requires effort. Trails wind down steep paths and river crossings, passing through villages and forests before the sound of rushing water grows near. At the base, the falls feel overwhelming. Walls of water pounding into pools surrounded by moss-covered rock and dense foliage. The setting is untouched and dramatic. Palm trees and vines crowd the cliffs, while mist rises to cloak the canyon. In the highlands of northern Sumatra lies Lake Toba, the largest volcanic lake in the world. Stretching over 100 kilometers in length and 30 kilometers across, it fills the vast caldera of a supervolcano that erupted nearly 75,000 years ago, one of the most powerful eruptions in Earth's history. The explosion reshaped the landscape, leaving behind a lake so immense it holds an island within it. At the center rises Samosir, larger than Singapore, its ridges covered in fields, forests, and traditional Batak villages. Wooden houses with sweeping roofs stand along the shoreline, while terraced farms climb the slopes above. The water is deep and still, its surface mirroring the surrounding mountains. Mists gather in the mornings, while sunsets burn across the caldera walls in shifting colors. Myths tell of ancient spirits that dwell in the lake, binding its immense scale to legend. In the highlands of East Java lies Kawah Ijen, a volcanic crater unlike any other. At its heart rests a lake of striking turquoise, the largest acidic crater lake in the world. Steam rises constantly from its surface, carrying the smell of sulfur that hangs heavy in the air. At night, flames of electric blue flicker along the vents, caused by burning sulfuric gases, a phenomenon found in few places on Earth. The slopes of Ijen are also a place of labor. Miners descend into the crater to extract blocks of sulfur, carrying loads of up to 70 kilograms on their shoulders up the steep paths. Their silhouettes move against the glow of the fires, a stark image of endurance amid danger. Off the northeastern coast of Java lies Madura, a long island reached by the Suramadu Bridge across the Madura Strait. Its landscape is dry and rugged, with rolling hills, limestone cliffs, and fields of corn, salt, and tobacco. Salt production has long shaped the island, its pans stretching white across the coast during the dry season. Madura is equally defined by its traditions. The most famous is Karapan Sapi, the annual bull races where pairs of cattle, guided by riders, charge down dirt tracks at high speed. Villages gather to cheer, turning the races into both sport and celebration. Fishing harbors line the island shores, filled with colorful wooden boats that head into the Java Sea. Markets in towns like Sumenep carry the rhythm of daily life, where trade, craft, and ritual remain deeply rooted. Perched on the edge of a sheer cliff, Uluwatu Temple overlooks the Indian Ocean from a height of nearly 70 meters. Built in the 11th century, it is one of Bali's key sea temples, part of a chain believed to guard the island from spirits approaching by sea. Its shrines and gateways stand among gnarled trees, framed by stone walls that follow the cliff's edge. Waves crash against the rocks far below, their sound rising with the wind. At sunset, the horizon burns orange as the temple becomes a silhouette against the sea. Each evening, the courtyard hosts the Kasak fire dance, where chanting performers circle flames as the sky darkens. Monkeys move among the paths, watching visitors from the trees, while the ocean stretches endlessly beyond the cliffs. Off the northwest coast of Lombok lie the Gili Islands, 3 small islets known as Gili Trawangan, Gili Meno, and Gili Air. Each is ringed by white sand beaches and turquoise water, with coral reefs stretching just offshore. Wooden boats and outriggers anchor in the shallows, while sea turtles glide through the clear currents. Life on the Gilis moves at a slower pace. There are no cars, only bicycles and horse carts along sandy paths that circle the islands. Gili Trawangan is lively, known for its cafes and beach bars, while Gili Meno remains the quietest, its lagoons and bird sanctuaries offering solitude. Gili Air lies in between, balancing village life with relaxed tourism. Sunsets cast the horizon in gold, with Bali's Mount Agung rising in silhouette across the sea. On the outskirts of Bukit Tinggi in West Sumatra lies Sianok Canyon, a deep green valley cut by the slow flow of the Betong Sianok River. Sheer cliffs drop more than 100 meters on either side, their faces covered in dense vegetation. From above, the canyon opens like a scar in the land, stretching for kilometers through the highlands. The river winds quietly along the floor, bordered by rice fields and small villages. Mist gathers in the mornings, softening the jagged cliffs, while sunsets cast the walls in gold and shadow. Trails descend from the ridges to the valley below, where footpaths and bamboo bridges connect the fields. Long known as the Grand Canyon of Sumatra, Sianok is both dramatic and tranquil, a place where towering cliffs frame a landscape of farms, water, and forest, hidden in the heart of the Minangkabau Highlands. In the highlands of northeastern Bali rises Mount Batur, an active volcano set within one of the island's greatest calderas. At its base lies Lake Batur, a crescent of deep blue water that fills part of the vast depression left by ancient eruptions. The volcano itself, 1,717 meters high, is smaller than Mount Agung, yet among the most active in Indonesia, with eruptions recorded for centuries. The climb to its summit is one of Bali's most sought-after journeys. Trails begin in the dark hours before dawn, winding over black lava fields and rocky slopes. By sunrise, trekkers stand at the crater rim, watching the first light spill over the lake and surrounding mountains. steam vents hiss from the earth, reminders of the volcano's living force. Around the caldera, villages cling to the ridges, their fields carved into terraces of vegetables and fruit. Hot springs line the lakeshore, fed by geothermal heat from beneath the mountain. On the southern shore of West Java lies Pandagaran, a peninsula of beaches, fishing villages, and protected forest. The coastline curves in long arcs of black and golden sand, where waves from the Indian Ocean roll in strong and steady. Offshore reefs soften the surf in some places, while in others, the breakers attract surfers from across the region. At the tip of the peninsula spreads Pandagaran Nature Reserve, a forested headland where macaques move through the trees and caves open in the cliffs. Trails lead to hidden beaches, while herds of deer wander near the edge of the jungle. Fishing boats line the shore, their painted hulls pulled onto the sand. At dusk, lamps glow on the water as the boats head out to sea, a nightly rhythm that has shaped the community for generations. At the northern edge of Sumatra lies Weh Island, a volcanic outcrop where the Andaman Sea meets the Indian Ocean. Known as Indonesia's Western Gateway, it is marked by the Kilometer Zero Monument, a symbolic point from which the nation's distances are measured. The island is rugged and green, its hills descending into bays of clear turquoise water. Coral reefs fringe the coast, home to reef sharks, turtles, and clouds of colorful fish that draw divers from around the world. Beaches like Iboi and Gapong curve in quiet arcs, their sands lined with palms and fishing boats. Small villages dot the shore, where life moves with the rhythm of the tide. Inland, forests shelter waterfalls and volcanic springs, reminders of the island's fiery origin. Indonesia is vast, diverse, and endlessly surprising. A place where volcanoes rise beside emerald rice fields, and ancient temples stand not far from bustling modern cities. If this glimpse sparked your curiosity, hit subscribe. There are many more wonders to uncover right here on the channel.